Hello, traders. This is Rev Wood. I go by SageFT. This is the live trading desk review and Rev-up for the last day of the month of November of 2025. So we've got 11/30/2025. Now, first thing I want to say is, just like you could see right above me here, there are a million Black Friday specials. Go ahead and use the code SageFT for the best discount possible, just like you can get with any other code. Just helping the stream, supporting the stream, which is community-based, community supported. Also hit that like button, share button, because what you're going to see in this video is very accurate if you understand how forecasting works, and that you have to have a couple different scenarios, right? But first, what I want to do is I want to talk about what is your focus level when you're trading. Here's how I want you to think about this from now on. And if this doesn't suit you, trading may not be for you. And I want everyone to pay attention, because I don't think I've ever said this before. Okay. The focus and patience level that you have to have every single session that you're trading is that of the most important test you've ever taken in your life every single time you trade. That's why you see me trade for about 2 hours max. Take a break. I might come back for the afternoon session. I want everyone to understand that when you are trading for a prop firm, you have a responsibility to maintain that capital, meaning you are in process 100% of the time. Process isn't just making money. What is your focus level? When you're about to enter a trade, are you breathing through your chest, or are you breathing through your stomach? When you know that you did very, very well on that exam that you were absolutely ready for, and you were dialed in, and you could focus, and you could hear a pin drop in the classroom, that is how I want you to think about your trading. Do you have distractions behind you? Do you have your phone ringing? Are you checking email? Chats, things like that? It's up to you. Those that have removed the distractions and focused redundantly on focus have accelerated in this game very, very quickly once they started taking notes of it. Okay, now that we've got that out of the way, that's just my little brain bug for the week. I want you to think about, when you see me lock in, or don't you think it's time for you to lock in as well? If I stop talking on the mic and I start reading the tape, don't you think it's time to listen and lock in? There are certain times you don't read the tape. There are certain times you have to relax your focus, but you're still focused. All right, now let's dive into the charts. Let's dive into the charts real quick, and let's talk about where we've been. Well, straight up off of the bottom, which we drew out perfectly. Okay. Now, where do I think we're going? This is a tough one, okay? The reason I say that this is a tough one is we have some serious prior supply, right? So if we bring in this color generated by time volume profile chart, which is in your NinjaTrader over in the Discord, our free Discord, we'd be more than happy to have you get set up to have it look like this. But what I want to show you is there's something unique about this that has me a little perplexed here. Okay, now the thought is, what did they do here, right? So if we look, they bought overnight, okay, and then they rushed in right here, right? Because this color is 9 to 11 right now. Okay, knowing that, I want you to see this, though, that there's also aftermarket purchasing. But the main point of what I'm showing you here is, look at how they bought here. So if this is what it looks like for them to reverse it, we got past this box here just based on volume. The next hurdle is right at the 6860s level. All right, and then you have to crush through the 70s. Okay, and then when you go back into the all-time highs here, there is a lot of volume here, right? There is a lot of prior supply. So the question is, does this player finally get paid or not, right? And so let's just mark that at 60. This box is pretty safe, okay? So this box is pretty safe to say, okay, let's make it some color that I never use. Sure. We're gonna go aquamarine, and we're gonna go with like a 7, right? So we can see it, right? Okay, now, all right, see it? Look at the high of Friday. We're right into this BI, right? Okay, so now this big cluster, and you can see that right here, there's a big volume, and then you have the VAL, high volume here. But what we want to look at is bringing this back in. We want to make sure that they were purchasing this on hours. All right, so here's on hours. These are the hours that we want them to trade. Lawn green, medium sea green, goldenrod, and dark turquoise. Okay, so now, okay, this was not, right? This doesn't look right to me, right? I mean, right? This was all purchased. If this is goldenrod, if this is what they're talking about, right? This is all purchased right before lunch, right? So someone's in expecting a higher price, right? Because you could see that they're doing it every. If we just follow the orange, they're kind of bringing it up every single time, right? Orange, and I'm just going to bring this back in for a second here, okay? Or goldenrod, whatever we want to call it, right? Is right here, right? This is not what we're looking at here. We're looking at this one here, okay? And so if you look at that, they're purchasing it. They purchased, well, they sold on the way down, right? You can see the orange. They sold on the way down, but then we go back over here, they bought it all. So do they push this higher? So we're going to find out if they go through the, let's see. Okay. So that is 6864 to 6908. The easiest one to see is you have a breaker block up there. You have an order block, breaker block, whatever people want to call it. You can call it whatever you want. But as you get through here, you have some serious supply. Okay, now on the bottom side, right? On the bottom side, that's the first scenario, right? So if we just start to draw it, right, it goes like this, and I'm just, randomly drawing it here. Okay, and then to the mid, it's going to make a decision right here. All right, so now that's the first little scenario. Okay, now the next thing we want to think about is that what? All right, now, while most people are looking at this green box, I want you to look at something else, right? Okay, and that is there's going to be two little spots. Okay, here's the first spot. Okay, I want you to look at this spot. Now, I'm just saying we're going to watch these, right? What do they mean? Well, they on a smaller time frame, they came in, touched it, and moved. Okay, this second location I want you to watch, if we're going to move to the downside, would be right here, right? Now think about how perfect this would be right here, this one right here. Okay, I'm going to push it across. To me, that's an inverted external gap, right? Inverted external gap. Okay, just take the time to process what I'm saying. If it's on a smaller time frame, what's it going to look like? So and remember, we're just making scenarios, right? So if we're going to go with another scenario, take the magnet off. So this is a lot easier. Okay, we're gonna say something like it's going to go up into this, okay, and then it's going to come down like this. And remember, I'm just going to draw it. It's just going to come like this. Say something like this. Okay, and then instead of it stopping in this box that people think it's going to stop in, it'll do something like this. Okay, and then possibly next decision, right? So these are the two scenarios, right? And then the third scenario is always this, which could happen because Santa Claus rally is what's expected, right? Text. All right. So, okay, but the Santa rally doesn't start yet, right? There's a certain date that it starts. And so you can Google that, figure out what day that is, right? But if we're going to get a Santa rally, it goes into new all-time highs. If not, we're going to follow some sort of structure like this. Folks, we have no idea what this thing's going to do. Listen. Nobody has any idea what it's going to do. Look, here's some external liquidity. Here's some external liquidity that has to get handled if this is some sort of inversion. Right here, right? So there's a million different things that we can be looking at, and they all support both or all three of the scenarios that have been drawn. All right, I hope that helps everybody. Remember, go to sageft.com/Black Friday and check out all the deals. Use the code SageFT at checkout. There are a lot of very, very good deals. Tradeify, TPT, which is Take Profit Trader, and Apex are the ones that I would recommend for me personally. So you can go ahead and figure out which one works for you. And we will see everyone tomorrow morning. Thanks.